What's up, guys? It's Dave Wallace from Medal of Honor Show, and I'm trying a little something different here this week. This is going to be a comparison video between subscription box services for metal LPs. Now, I'm sure you probably know about subscription boxes. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. But basically, subscription boxes are a monthly service that usually revolve around, well, just about any subject you can think of. You can get subscription boxes for clothes, you can get them for tools, you can get them for comic books. My wife gets a subscription box for makeup. They send her different shit every week, or every month, sorry, and she tries it out and does her own tutorial videos. I get subscription boxes for usually like manly stuff, like knives, and I like stabby things and beard oils and whatever kind of weird shit they can stick in there. So anything you can think of, there's a subscription box service for it. They're really cool. Usually whatever it is that you're interested in, they usually try and give you more of the value. It's sort of like at $30 a month you get $50 worth of shit, and they try and keep it personalized for you. So usually there's some sort of profile involved so that they get to know your tastes. Some of them will be something where you can actually preview it online before they send it to you. A lot of times it's just, here's your box for the month, and you get what you get. There'll be a lot of interesting things that way. A good way to, I guess, maybe learn about things that maybe you wouldn't have tried out if it hadn't been for the subscription service. So that is what drew me to this subscription service for LPs. I thought, there's so much metal music out there. This is a good way to find out about things that maybe bands I wouldn't have known about, or just wouldn't have checked out because I had other things that I was so interested in. It's just a good way to discover new stuff. So the first thing that I did before trying out one of these is I actually went onto different Facebook groups, and I posted a question about that and asked people, have any of you tried any of these subscription services? And if so, did you, what was the experience like for you? I had a few pretentious pricks that would say, well, I would never let someone pick out my music for me. Fuck you. All right, but there was also, of course, people that made a good point in saying, I can hardly afford all the music that I really want. I don't like the idea of paying for something and getting stuck with something that I don't necessarily want. And I get that. Vinyl can be a little bit of an expensive hobby sometimes when you're really getting into it and you want to just buy more and more stuff. If you know what it is that you want, you go to your dealer. Every addict has a dealer. Vinyl is an addiction. I have a dealer. His name's Andrew. He has a shop called Sounds Good Music. When I know what I want, I go to him. If he doesn't have it, he'll find it for me. And he refers to vinyl as black crack. I feel really uncomfortable calling him my black crack man, so we're just gonna stick with dealer. Anyway, if I know what I want, that's what I do, and that's what you should do. You support, small business. This isn't really about that. This is about, just kind of discovering things, and a different way of discovering things. And yeah, as far as like not wanting to spend the money on it, I understand that, but at the same time, most of us blow a few bucks here and there all the time on, whether it be Starbucks or a drive-through, or there's little areas you can cut corners. If you can save up $10 a week from cutting a few corners, then you can pay for the subscription service. You never know, you might get some really cool stuff. So that being said, I've been a part of two of them now, one that I'm sticking with, I kind of knew once I joined the second one that I was going to eventually want to do this comparison video. So the two companies that we're going to be comparing are VNYL.org, and that's VNYL, VNYL.org, and then the other is MetalHead Box. Now, right off the bat, one sounds better to us metal fans, right? but I didn't actually know about any of them until VNYL.org was the first one that I heard about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the process from finding the website to all the way up until I actually got the box in hand for vinyl. Then I'm going to do that for MetalHead. Then I'm going to talk about everything that was in the box for vinyl, everything that was in the box for MetalHead, and then we'll end with pros and cons, and you can decide for yourself. So let's start with VNYL.org. Now, like I said, VNYL.org is the first one I heard about. I didn't even really think about there being LP subscription services out there. Makes perfect sense, of course. I mean, shit, I had them when I was in high school. I had, Columbia House, 20 cassettes for a penny. Can't pass up that deal, right? So, we all kind of did that sort of thing. So it makes perfect sense that it's come back around now that subscription boxes are popular. Like I said, this was the first one I'd heard of, just hadn't occurred to me. But they had a pretty good web presence. They were all over Instagram, all over Facebook. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot, check it out. So went to their website to sign up. First of all, you got to make a profile on there. They want to know as much information about you as they can, kind of get to know you. And then one of the things I didn't like about this was right off the bat, first thing was that I didn't find the website to be that user-friendly. And what I mean is they have a system of, you basically have to pick the way your music is picked each month. It's not a consistent thing. You have to decide how you want it done. Now, they call them vibes. I don't know why, but they call them vibes. Choose your vibe. And one of them, the only one that there should be, is curated. That's the whole point of this, right? Is pick out the music that fits my tastes. Otherwise, I just go to my dealer and get shit. I don't understand why there's any other things to choose from. But there's different ones, and there's like one called Neck Deep, one called Colors, one called like Black Bra or Butt Sex or something. I don't remember, something stupid. But the problem with these things is that it doesn't tell you on the web page, on that particular page, what that vibe means. You have to click on it and dig into to actually find it. You have to kind of always go back and forth. You have to click on it, read about it, and then, oh no, that's not what I want, so now I got to go back. Instead of it all being explained to you on the front page, here's what you choose, here's what you get. Simple as that, and then you can dive deeper into it. But I want to know what it is that I'm getting. So I really didn't like that. I thought it was kind of stupid. And not only that, but I was signing up on my phone, and maybe I just got fat thumbs, but somehow I must have clicked ahead too far, because all of a sudden I was at a checkout when I didn't even know exactly what I was actually getting. So I ended up backing out of that and starting over. And I ended up figuring out that, well, obviously I know that I want it to be curated, so I just chose curated. Now, for vinyl, what they do with the curated vibe is they hook up with your Spotify account. I think they also check out your Discogs, and either one's cool, of course. But it seemed like a smart idea for them to look at your Spotify and see what you play a lot. It kind of makes sense, they can really figure out what kind of music you listen to. What you've listened to most recently, obviously, is a good way for them to figure this stuff out. So, seemed like a good idea. I was just about to check out when I decided, for some stupid reason, to read the fine print. And said in the fine print that by allowing them into your Spotify account, you basically give them permission to make changes to your Spotify account and possibly even remove items. What the fuck? What the hell does that mean? Really couldn't understand what they were wanting to do with that. Didn't make any sense to me. Most likely, it probably is just a fail-safe in case some dimwit there accidentally erases something that kind of covers their ass. But why don't they just say that? They shouldn't say you're giving us the right to remove things. That doesn't make any sense at all. They could say you give us the right to be forgiven if we accidentally fuck up. So I don't understand the point of that, and it kind of threw out a red flag to me. So I decided that I would basically stop there and send them an email and find out, before I went any further and before I committed to it, I wanted to find out. So I decided to send them an email, and I'm going to tell you right now, this company sucks at communication. VNYL.org, you suck at email. It's like the most commonly used form of business communication today, and they do not answer emails. So you need to know that up front, because I sent them plenty of emails and never got responses from them. So after a couple of days of them not answering me as far as the whole, do I have to have the Spotify hookup, I finally decided to go to their Instagram page. And that seemed like it was fairly active, so I sent a message to their Instagram and said, can I do this without the Spotify thing? It took them a day, but they finally got back to me and said, yes, you can do that. You just basically have to fill out this long list of bands that you like so that we have a pretty good idea. And so that's all I did. I went back on there and I just typed out, a whole bunch of bands that I liked, and with pretty wide parameters. I like a lot of music, so I listed Van Halen and Motley Crue, and I listed Emperor and Deicide and everything in between, just to give them a really good idea of the depth of music that I like. So with that, I was set to go. This was May 23rd that I committed to my first box from VNYL.org. So after about 3 weeks, didn't really hear anything at all from them, and it was kind of making me wonder, I don't really know how long it's going to take. It seemed kind of weird that I didn't have really much communication from them. And so, I sent another email asking them, when I would expect this, and of course they didn't reply. So I again was poking around on Instagram, and by the way, one thing I learned about communication with these guys, even though Instagram is successful, if you really want an answer fast, the way to do it is to find one of their posts and ask your comment in a very public comment. Then they'll answer you quickly. They will answer messages through Instagram. Just, like I said, I kept learning this the hard way about the emails. But so anyway, I was looking around on Instagram and noticed that in the comments, other people were asking the same thing. When am I going to get these records? I ordered a while ago, and the most common answer was, after about 3 weeks, we usually ship them out. After your order, 3 weeks after your order. Okay, that's what they said. So I said, all right, cool, we'll just kind of wait a little longer. And another week went by, and wasn't really hearing anything, and just kind of, every now and then making a comment on Instagram, hey, I wonder if my stuff's ever going to come. In the meantime, this is around June 20th or so, and I was starting to get a little bit of bad vibes from that. So one day I decided to watch my favorite channel, The Accusation Network, with Matt Paradise. And Matt, of course, is a friend, and his show, of course, got me interested in doing my show. And every time I watch his channel, I usually sit down. I watch it at work, actually, before we open. I kind of put it on when it's nice and quiet. I get out a pad and pencil, and I actually write down, any bands that he talks about that seems interesting, so that way I can go check them out later. So I'm watching a new episode they put out, and it's an unboxing of a subscription service called MetalHead Box. And I'm like, first of all, what the fuck, Matt? Where were you when I needed you? But actually, he was there all along. It was me who was just asking the wrong people the wrong questions. So, in this video, he's talking about this company that's made of metal fans, for metal fans, and he's pulling extras out of the box and all kinds of cool stuff, and t-shirts and albums, and looks really cool. So of course I start thinking about that, and in fact the next day, I think June 21st probably is about the time that I actually signed up for that, thinking that maybe I would end up switching, or maybe I would keep both. At this point I was starting to kind of feel like maybe I was getting ripped off by vinyl. I didn't even know if I was actually going to get anything from them. But anyway, so I signed up for that. We'll get to them in a minute. On the 23rd of June, I finally get an email from vinyl.org. It's not a response to anything I've said. It's actually just, hey, guess what? It's time to buy your next Vibe. Okay, fuck your Vibe. Where is my first box? How am I supposed to tell you if I want something else when I haven't even got my original purchase? I don't know if I like your company. I don't know if I like your selections. How am I supposed to decide this if I haven't received something already? So, at this point, I'm kind of getting irritated, and it's been exactly 1 month. And it's just a communication thing. I mean, I understand sometimes these things take time, but there was no communication from these people. At that point, I was sending messages to their Instagram, and I'm kind of asking, hey, where the hell is my stuff at? And on the 25th, I actually finally got a message from them on Instagram that included my tracking number to say, hey, this stuff actually, it is on the way. They finally figured that out. While I was on their Instagram, again, poking around and looking at their posts, I noticed that plenty of other people are also asking, how do I quit? And the response that they seemed to give was, you send an email to pause@vinyl.org. Another email. But at least it was a different email address, so I thought maybe they'd get that one, right? Because at this point, I had enough. And basically, I knew that the stuff was coming, and I was ready to, I was already drooling about MetalHead Box. So I went ahead and sent an email to Pause. And the headline actually was, the subject was cancel. It was clear as day. I want to cancel my service. I even said in the email, I'd rather go with somebody who's more focused on my tastes, like MetalHead Box. So I had officially canceled. That obviously ended up not working. Eventually, a month later, they actually took more money from my account, and I had to send more messages saying, what the fuck's wrong with you people? I quit. And you guys stole money from me. Basically, I had already canceled, and I actually only, as of today is, as I'm filming, is August 7th. Only yesterday on the 6th did I finally get a confirmation that they received my cancellation notice, which was sent on the 25th of June. So, as you can see, communication there, really not good. Now, when we get to the box, you'll find out that there's some redeeming qualities of this company, actually, but it's all about communication. Communication just flat out sucks with them, all right? All right, so let's move on to MetalHead Box. So like I said, I'm watching Matt's show, and he's just pulling all kinds of cool stuff out of the box. He's going on and on about this being, a company of metal fans, and they really treat you like metal family, so that's really appealing to me because the vinyl company, they're just kind of like, vinyl.org is like most record stores in the sense that they're not really just devoted to one kind of music. They have all kinds of stuff. MetalHead Box is just metal music, right? There's no vibes, there's no jazz, there's no country, there's no hip hop, there's no rap, it's just metal. And it seemed really awesome, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and sign up for this. I signed up for this on the 21st of June. Their website, super easy. Everything made sense, and it was clear as day right on the front. You want LPs, CDs, or cassette tapes, you can choose any of those. And of course I chose LPs. You want 1 LP a month? 2 LPs a month? 2 LPs and a t-shirt. I'll take 2 LPs and a t-shirt. Can always use more black shirts. And after all, it was actually the same price. Vinyl.org was $39.99 for 3 albums. MetalHead Box is $39.99 for 2 albums and a t-shirt. So I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go with that deal. And super simple. And then of course, it's all metal, so I mean, it's not really hard. You don't have to list a ton of bands, but you can streamline it. There is some subgenres you can streamline if you only want thrash, or if you only want death metal, or glam metal, whatever. or if you're like me and you want the variety, I just chose all metal. So I mean, this was super easy, everything to navigate on their website. They also made it very clear on their website, we ship on the 25th of each month. No wondering, no, you know, I wonder when they're going to send my stuff out. We ship on the 25th, it says it clear as day. Now, I signed up, super simple. I instantly got an email from them saying, you know, your first box will be the July box. One thing that I didn't really think it through for some reason, I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to have my box in July because it was June 21st, but they ship on the 25th. That's only 4 days and they're already really busy, so I should have known that it would actually be another month before they ship my box. But after a week, when I got into July, I did send them an email on a Sunday night and actually wanted to clarify that, am I getting the box in July or is it ship on July 25th? And within 10 minutes, they actually emailed me back and replied and said, yeah, it's the one that ships on July 25th. So right off the bat, communication is really good with this company. Really just kind of took all the guessing out of it, which was nice. And sure enough, on July 23rd, I got I saw that money was taken out of my account to pay for it. Now, it was about $15 more than I thought it would be. VNYL.org, theirs was exactly $39.99. This one was an additional $15 on top of that, and at first I was like, I wonder what that was about, but then I want to give them the benefit of doubt, thought maybe it's shipping. I figured vinyl's they're probably just doing media mail, which is the cheapest and slowest you can get, so I thought maybe these guys are doing something a little bit better. And sure enough, the next day I noticed on July 24th that I got an email, and it had to do with, it was from DHL and my tracking number, because they're using DHL. It also is when I learned that MetalHead Box is a Canadian company. So, I mean, they got to go across borders. You can't, it's not just US mail. You can't just drop it in the mailbox. So, it's going to cost a little bit extra. But I've always had good experiences with DHL, so I was pretty excited about that. Now, unfortunately, early the following week, I had to get another email from them, because due to all the COVID-19 issues, DHL actually had set up rules, wouldn't allow the guys from MetalHead Box to drop everything off. They insisted on setting up a time to go and pick it up themselves, DHL did. And so it basically delayed everything another week. It wasn't the company's fault, it was DHL's regulations. And so it took a little bit extra time. It actually got here also yesterday, August 6th, got my first MetalHead box. So let's get to opening these suckers up. So when the vinyl box showed up, I really wasn't expecting that much. I think at this point, I mean, honestly, I'd already actually quit. Even though I hadn't received the first box, I had already quit the company, so I really wasn't expecting it to be anything great. But right off the bat, I will say this. When it comes to marketing, these guys understand marketing, just not communication. But, marketing, I mean, the hot pink box here with the hashtag vinyl, is a good way to just kind of alert you. You had a long day at work, you're not in the greatest mood, and you get home and you see that hot pink box leaning up against the door shaped like an album. You're just like, ooh, I got goodies, so that's a good way to get you excited about it. And of course, you see that the pink all over the internet now, they get marketing, and hey, who doesn't like a little pink box waiting for them when they get home, right? So let's get to what was inside. So first album that I pulled out was Rob Zombie, The Sinister Urge. This is a good album, and good selection, and even a nice gatefold on this, so the thing about obviously this fit in the parameters for what I gave them. When I said somewhere between Van Halen and Emperor, Rob Zombie definitely fits in there. Got some hit songs on here. It is definitely a good album, but something about it felt a little strange, and I think the reason why it seems strange is this. Aside from the fact that I already had a bad taste in my mouth from this company. I think it felt strange because Rob Zombie is such a big hit musician and singer that everyone knows, and so it kind of felt like, you know, when you meet a new friend at work who's not a metal fan and they don't get it, and so you're like, yeah, I listen to metal, and they're like, oh, like Rob Zombie? And you're like, well, yeah, I guess so. That's kind of how this felt, you know, like, yeah, it's metal, it's just, you know, I'm not sure if you really get what I'm saying, but yeah, anyway, that aside, and you know, this is also a big hit album, so it kind of felt maybe a little bit like they probably produced so many of these things that they just got like a bin full of them, so they're like, hey, we got somebody else that chose metal, that pulls one of those zombies out, we got so many of those sitting around. That's kind of how it felt. I might be reading into it a little bit, but that's just kind of how it felt. No big deal. Great album. I've listened to it, and actually me and my daughter played games while we were listening to this, so definitely a good album. All right. Now, the second album that I pulled out, this actually made me, think, I almost wish that I hadn't quit vinyl.org, because this is what I got into these boxes for, what I was interested in. This is a band called Black Breath. And Black Breath is a black metal band from, I think they're from Portland, we'll find out. But, or sorry, they're from Seattle. But this band, you know, of course, this first thing, I hadn't heard of these guys before, so the first thing I did is I got out my phone and checked out on Spotify, and it was badass, super cool, and I hadn't heard these guys before, and then the quality of the gatefold, you know, the gold and black print on here. It's a double album. It's really, everything about it is nice quality. If I had heard these guys first and then walked into you know, my dealer's shop and saw it on the wall and saw it for $30, I'd be like, yeah, I want that one. Definitely a cool album. I would totally recommend checking these guys out. And like I said, this is what I got into this before. I wouldn't have discovered these guys. I never heard of them anywhere else. So, you know, this is what I wanted to find out. Now, the third album that I got from vinyl, and this is probably one of the areas where they made money on me. It's a band called Pelican. And they're kind of doom stoner metal kind of stuff, you know. And you know, it actually is a clear vinyl that came through with it. But the thing about this is, this is a 4-song EP, and it's instrumental. Now, you tell me that you're giving me a 4-song EP that's instrumental. I expect sweeping guitar solos and bass fills and, you know, drum runs that are really impressive. This is, you know, standard 4-minute long songs, just 4 of them, and it just kind of sounds like a band that, like, they're trying to their first songs together without a singer, and they're like, when we get a singer, we'll let them, you know, put some vocals down. So they went ahead and recorded. That's what it sounds like. I kind of want to go put some vocals on it myself, actually. It's not bad. It's definitely not a bad thing, and I like having it in my collection just because it's something a little more obscure. But yeah, it's not like a, you know, awesome album, but it's kind of a cool thing to have. So all in all, those 3 albums were actually pretty cool. Everything, they were all really good selections. The Black Breath one, I think, is really awesome. That's really the thing that makes it worthwhile to me. And then there was one other thing in the box, and it was a postcard, handwritten postcard from a lady named Elizabeth. And I guess she's the one that picked the albums for me. Now, this, I'm going to read this to you, but this is one of the big bonuses of this album, because not only does it make it seem personal, and I don't really know how personal it is. I don't know if she actually knows all of this stuff and is really trying to, you know, get to me, or did they just throw this shit on her desk and she did some quick Wikipedia research. I don't know. But the note says, "Hey David, welcome. I'm starting off your first box with Rob Zombie's The Sinister Urge. This 2001 record features hits like Feel So Numb and Never Gonna Stop. Next, the third album from Seattle's death metal ringleaders, Black Breath. You can hear the classic Swedish metal influence. That's interesting. Finally, an instrumental record from post-rock band Pelican. Fun fact, each of the 4 songs was recorded in a different studio. Enjoy, Elizabeth. That actually is a fun fact. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. This has a number 529787. I'm guessing that's maybe something to do with her work number. But yeah, I like obscure facts about bands. I mean, shit, you see in my show, that's what it's about, right? So this actually was really cool. I have to say, if these guys had just communicated with me with emails throughout this process, I wouldn't have had the weird vibes about them, and I probably would have stuck with this service as well as MetalHead Box. If they just talked to me a little bit until I got this box, this first one, I would have said, yeah, you know what, I'm going to stick with it because these are all great selections. I like this. I like Elizabeth. I just wish that you guys would learn to fucking read your email. It's 2020. Come on. I mean, you should know how to do that. So anyway, that was everything that's in that box. So now let's get to the MetalHead Box. So when it comes to MetalHead Box, they didn't have any kind of special packaging, and really don't fucking need it. I mean, it's not really what it's about, right? Like I said, you know, that was just kind of a thing for vinyl. It was a good marketing tool, but really not necessary, especially for us metalheads. Unless, of course, MetalHead Box decided to do like a black box. You know, think about it. But anyway. Like I said, these guys are known for throwing in lots of extra goodies, and so remember, I got from them 2 albums and a t-shirt. So I opened the box, and the very first thing that I get in the box is this pin. Now let me see if I can get this and see if you can see that. See if I can get my face out of there. Damn it, it won't focus. I don't know if you can see that. That is a bath, whatever you call him. That is the vocalist from Immortal, one of my favorite black metal bands, and he's got a little like crow on his shoulder there. It's a pin. It's going on my battle vest because it's super fucking cool. And that was a kind of a cool thing to see. You know, I think they do pins a lot, so you know, a good thing to put on the old battle vest. So. The next thing that I pulled out was the t-shirt. Now the t-shirt that I pulled was, let me see if I can get this, see if you can see this. There you go, Sadus. This just a nice quality t-shirt. Everything about it is real. It's not cheap. It's real nice. Nice print. I actually at first I was like, man, is that like glow in the dark or something? But it does. It's just like really vibrant green. Sadus is a California thrash band, but if you don't know this already, but they kind of have vocals bordering on like, you know, death and even black a little bit. Been around for a while. This is a kick-ass shirt. Very cool to add to my collection. I'll just put that back here. There we go. All right. So the next thing that I pulled after that, still haven't even got to the albums yet, but we got this. It's like a banner, little banner flag sort of thing of Sodom. Sodom is a German, say, blackened thrash kind of band. Super cool. And this, didn't order this just like the pin. It just kind of came with it. So pretty cool. Let's put that up here. Sodom. All right, so that's when I got to the LPs. The first one that I got was Nocturnus. This band, Nocturnus, this is an early death metal band. I mean, early what I'm saying is from the late 80s, but that's, you know, when death metal was just kind of coming in. And this is actually demos from this band. And it's really cool, actually. Interesting enough, like, Nocturnus was one of the first bands that were, as far as death metal goes, that was using like keyboards in some of their music. So it's interesting that hearing it, especially probably because it's the demo versions of it, but it sounds very much like atmospheric black metal. There's hints of Emperor, old Emperor in this, which would be, I guess, this might actually predate Emperor stuff, actually, as a matter of fact. But that's just kind of what it sounds like. So this is really super cool album to get. Also, a little bit of guitar work on here from Vincent Crowley. He actually is somebody that I interviewed. I used to do a show called The VNYL. It was a podcast, and we had him on there, and he actually has a really cool band called Infidel Reich. So anyway, it was kind of cool to just pull that out and see his name on here. Anyway, so that's a really cool album. And then the other album that I pulled out. All right. So again, some things, what's good about getting them sent to you is that you wouldn't check them out for different reasons without them being sent to you. The name of this band probably would have caused me to go, whatever. The band is called Thrash Squatch. But okay, I just found it was kind of goofy. But as it turns out, it's pretty fucking rad, actually. It's thrash. It's good old-fashioned thrash. This sounds a lot like, you know, kind of stuff that I used to skate to when I was in high school. So I mean, this definitely sounds like thrash and thrasher music. And actually has a kind of a cool vinyl to it as well, with this kind of red splatter effect to it. So that's definitely cool. And like I said, you know, I probably would have passed on it before, but you know, since I got it sent to me, of course, I checked it out, and hey, it's actually pretty cool. So not bad selections at all. As far as you know, good stuff in there, but then that wasn't it. This is something that MetalHead Box does. It seems they do all the time. And if you're interested, like I said, go to Accusation Network channel and watch Matt's videos. He does an unboxing of his MetalHead Box subscription every month. And one of the things they always seem to throw in is these cool, like, it's like a postcard, but it's a collectible autographed card, a different musician each month. Now this is Jason Bittner. He's the drummer for Overkill. And so, you know, I got his autograph right there. So, I mean, that's a pretty cool collectible item. You know, if you stick with your subscription, you know, you can get 12 of these a year, and it's kind of a cool way to collect something different. So I appreciate this. This is really cool. Just something interesting to see. Other than that, the only other stuff in the box there was like this kind of postcard of a tag and share. You actually, if you take a picture of the stuff you like and tag them in it, you know, you can actually get into a drawing for some more free stuff. Also, they did put on here a reminder to people that they communicate through email. They send tracking numbers, and it's got to be the same one as your PayPal email. So more communication, thank you. And then there was a postcard about somebody else's podcast. I wonder if I can get some postcards made from Medal of Honor, and what I got to do to get these guys to toss them in some boxes. I don't know. But anyway, that is the boxes. So you see some pretty cool stuff there. So let's talk about the difference between the two, the pros and the cons. When it comes to communication, clearly MetalHead Box is the winner. And really, it kind of sucks because as far as vinyl.org goes, you know, they probably would have had a continued customer in me if they had just, you know, communicated with me. Simple as that. As far as the wait time, really it ended up being about the same in the long run. Just, you know, again, you know, MetalHead Box was better at telling me about how long it was going to take. And I think, again, vinyl, if they just communicated, I would have known better. You can't just do this random, about 3 weeks after your order. Let me know when this shit's coming, Send me a tracking number without me having to ask you for it. So that's the other aspect about the wait time. And then the last thing that is important to know as far as the comparison between the two is the value of what you get. A lot of times these companies, they tell you that you're getting much more than what you're paying for. You want to make sure that you're at least getting what you're paying for, right? So I decided to look up all of these albums on Discogs, and what I did was I went through, some of them will be listed as mint or near mint, but then when you read the details behind it, it'll actually say, hey, this is brand new, still sealed in our package. So that's kind of one of the things that I looked for, and just to see what they're selling for on there. All right, so interesting results here. Rob Zombie, Sinister Urge, that album on Discogs, brand new, you can get for between $13 and $15, which definitely fits in that price range of what I was saying, that they probably had too many of them, and so you can get it pretty cheap anywhere else too. So there's that one. Black Breath, actually I thought it would have been more expensive. Same thing, that album on Discogs you can get for $13. So just, I don't know, maybe they haven't built up enough of a reputation yet, but those albums aren't in as much demand yet. And then Pelican, the name of that Pelican album, by the way, I don't think I said it before, is Atraxia / Taraxis. Anyway, yeah, you can get that one $8 to $12 on there. But when you add that all up, even on the high end of those, you get $40. So you cover your shipping. The shipping, like I said, on theirs is included. They got to make a little bit of money here, so I'm sure they've got these at some kind of bulk. But when it comes to the value, is what you would pay anywhere else, it works out as a pretty good deal. I mean, basically, you got to figure for a record box holding 3 albums, shipping costs, even though it's media mail, I mean, it's still got to be $4 or $5. So not a bad deal at all, actually. So there's that. When it comes to MetalHead Box, the Nocturnus Science of Horror album, actually on Discogs, that one goes for about $18. So that was pretty cool. Thrash Squatch, actually, the only one that I saw available on there for sale was $40. That kind of surprised me, but I did do a little digging because something felt a little weird about that. And others have been sold in brand new, condition for as low as $18. So if we went by that, those 2 albums alone come out to $36. So almost the price right there of the $39.99. Now again, you gotta cover your shipping, right? Well, the T-shirt. Where's the T-shirt? This is a quality T-shirt. You wouldn't get this in any store or on. Matter of fact, I looked up some Sadist T-shirts. They actually had some that I found for sale. It's just the logo, it's just the name, not even the skull, and it was $15. This is a $20 shirt at least. As far as quality made. It's not a concert T-shirt. It doesn't have any tour dates on the back. If it was, you know how expensive they are at shows, but that's at least worth $20. So you've absolutely covered the price of the box and the shipping with the items, just with the 3 items you ordered. And then on top of that, they threw in a bunch of extra shit. So when it comes to value, MetalHead Box wins on that one. Both of them though are really worth the price. So the only thing about it all is that again, communication is important. You want to keep customers happy, you got to talk to them, and email is a big one. Other than that, the other side of it is, again, I kind of feel better about supporting a heavy metal based business. I want to see metal thrive, so especially, it doesn't do that well in America, and there's so many of us metalheads still here, but It doesn't get to the love that it does in like European countries and stuff. So, and you know, of course, Canada, you know, they're our neighbors, so you know, absolutely, let's support this Canadian business as long as it's supporting metal. Not to say that you know, vinyl.org doesn't. Like I said, you know, it's just this is based solely on metal, so I obviously want to support that more. If you have a disposable income, yeah, absolutely go for both. Do both. You're just going to have to be patient, and you know, we are kind of spoiled by Amazon these days. We're so used to, you know, I look at an album on Amazon, I've got Prime, so you know, I even think about buying it, and you know, a half hour later it's already playing on my stereo. I got to go in and find out how did the Prime guy slip into the room and put it on my player for me. That's just how spoiled we are. Amazon just gets our stuff to us immediately, and you know, you're gonna have to be a little bit patient. And then, like I said, you know, if you want to talk to vinyl.org, just leave a message on Instagram. Forget the whole email thing. Like I said, they also kind of ripped me off one time, so we're gonna have to deal with that. But anyway, there you have it. I've babbled enough. I hope you get something interesting out of this, and look forward to seeing you next time. And go out there and buy some more vinyl. MetalHead Box. Do it.
Never again, never pretend that all the lies you fed to me were fucking harmless. Never again.